me to support this application, this request for an ordinance change.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. You know, when I make decisions, I really spend a lot of time by myself. I also spend a lot of time driving around town. I think a lot of you know I talk about it with my autistic son. And I talk to him a lot. He doesn't answer me much, you know, but I talk to him a lot, you know, and there's 53,000 people I have to consider a lot of times when I make decisions. Not a small group, not a medium group. 53,000 people, and I am a financial guy. I own a mortgage company. I get those calls every day of people losing their homes, people not being able to feed their children, people losing their jobs, people taking pay cuts, people in downward spiraling industries. I have to deal with contracts a little bit here in Howell Township. And there's a lot of issues. I mean, this year we had to have furloughs in order to balance the budget. And the same people for years and years claim waste, but none of them can be specific about where it comes from. I'd be glad for anybody to specifically point out waste in Howell Township that we could use to help balance the budget here in Howell Township. Any good suggestion be well worth trying to implement if it was any way possible. I got told a few years ago when I was elected that I was a bad Republican. I got elected as independent. I got told I was a bad Republican because I didn't vote to give all the contracts in Howell Township to Republican donors and people that support the Republican Party. And I said to that person, what about the people of Howell? I thought that they were supposed to come first. And they told me, no, it's not the way it works. The Republican donors and Republican engineers, Republican attorneys were supposed to get all the contracts, no matter how much it saved the people of Howell Township. Well, we have lowered professional fees $1 million in 3 years up here from where they were 3 years ago. There's still not enough money. We have 75, I believe, commercial tax appeals going on right now in Howell Township. And we're going to lose a lot of those tax appeals, folks, because commercial complexes can bring out places that have sold, bring out the lower rent rolls they have now for people that have negotiated their rents down who aren't paying them rent. And that's part of how they go about their appeals. So we're going to probably be losing a percentage of our commercial tax base from losing commercial tax appeals. We do have to deal with rising insurance costs. We have over 250 people who receive insurance in Howell Township. And so right now it's been sent out to 7 places, and I believe the lowest one's a 13% increase. We do have contractual raises that we must honor as a municipality. And a lot of things that the township does cost more money. I respect the planning board. They voted that it wasn't consistent with the master plan. Well, how could it be? Mack Athletic Center could not be consistent with the master plan when there was no place zoned to put Mack Athletic Center. That's a no-brainer. If I was up on the planning board, I would have voted that it wasn't consistent either, because it's not. Okay? The zoning board did a lot of hard work, and it was a 4-3 vote. At the end of the day, I have to search my own soul and look myself in the mirror. And this is in my backyard. Yeah, I'm a mile away. It doesn't affect me directly like somebody lives next door. And I do deeply, deeply appreciate the people who live right by it. Okay? And that it will affect them somewhat. It will. Okay? Would I rather have that than a trucking company there? I'll make no bones about it. The answer is yes. Okay? Is it the most optimum spot, if I could pick every single spot in Howell Township of where I would like this? No, it's not. Okay? But I do think it's a very good project. I think it's something the township needs. And at the end of the day, I have to face something that the zoning board and planning board are not allowed to face. Is the economic viability of Howell Township going forwards. And believe me, I've said this in the last 2 years, we have not seen the worst of what we are going to face as a township. There is less and less revenue. There are more and more costs. And a lot of people, when they say to me, well, let's reduce the cost, where? Where do you want me to reduce the cost? I mean, we've done a lot of work on the bulk pickup. We've improved that tremendously. And no, it was not a pre-election gimmick. It was searching and feeling to try to find solutions to the town's problems with less money and revenue, like most business people have to do. I cannot, okay? And there's some reasons to say no to this project. There really are. You can make a case either way. But I cannot make a case on a few $100,000 rateable. Jobs, okay, which jobs creation is getting very difficult out there. And our young people need some jobs. I got a call from a former employee that told me after 14 years in the business that she can't find a job as a cashier. She's applied in like 7 or 8 different places as a cashier. So, I mean, all the other things have to be taken care of, but I am for the project, okay? I cannot look at a financial win for Howell Township, okay, and sit there knowing what we have to face financially and say no. Okay? Could one be built someplace else? Somebody else want to go build a $15 million project on another piece of property in Howell, bring us in more jobs and more ratables, nice clean ratable? I'd be for that also. So that it could be built someplace else, I'm okay with. I really am. You know, it's not an easy thing. And I really do feel for the people that it backs up to. Even though some have said they were for it and aren't here, because they said their own neighbors will be mad at them for being for it. I do understand, but I also understand what we have to face as a governing body and the economics of this township. And believe me, we are in a very, very difficult upward battle with finances in Howell Township between state mandates that they do not fund, between higher costs and revenue not increasing as quickly as to meet our cost obligations. We are in a battle. So make no bones about it. If the vote was 4-0 to turn this down when it came to me, I would vote yes. I want to be plain as day about it. If the vote was 4-0 to turn this down when it came to me, my vote would be yes, knowing that it was already defeated. So, God bless you all. You got to read before we vote, or can we vote now?
We're ready for the vote.
Give me a roll call, please, Ms. Wallman.
Mrs. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Memolo?
Yes.
Mr. Vislaki?
For the reasons I stated before, I want to support this project wholeheartedly, but there's this question, so I respectfully abstain.
Mrs. Dalton?
Yes.
Mayor Walsh?
Yes. Where do we need to go from here?
Mr. Mayor.
It's 10 after 1. Where do we need to go?
We need to make a
Mayor.
motion, Mayor, to extend the meeting to at least 1:30 to finish our business.
So move, second.
Give me a roll call.
Mrs.
Everybody,
Clark?
could you please keep it down? Go as quietly as possible.
Mr. Memolo?
Yes.
Mr. Vislaki?
Yes.
Mrs. Dalton?
Yes.
Mayor Walsh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor, you only have to read some of the reasons, you don't have to read all of them.
All right, we have to read some things into the record.
let's just wait for the,
Read them all.
I'm going to read the whole